Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 3. I'm your host, Colors Fade. It's episode 30. We're in the Adamantine Forge, and he is wearing the Adamantine armor, our paladin is, and it's now level up time. Everybody made a level. So, our paladin is eventually going to take 3 fighter levels at the end. You could start taking him now, but here's the thing. It's going to delay his ability score. Now remember, it says he's got a 17 strength, but he actually has an 18 because we took the Hag's boon, and he has an 18. So at level 8, he'll be able to take an ability score, and he can pump that up to 20, which will be awesome. Now, and then the whole point of getting to Paladin level 9 is to get haste via Oath of Vengeance. But at level 9, we're going to start taking fighter levels instead. If he takes a fighter level now, what happens is he gets a second fighting style, so we can add in defense. He's going to add 1 to his armor class, and he'll get second wind for a little bit of healing. Then he gets action surge at fighter level 2, and then at fighter level 3, he can choose a subclass, and we can give him champion for improved crit. All of those things are nice, but I don't want to delay his ability score going up. So what we're going to do is Paladin level. He gets this. He gets the level 2 spell slot, and he gets Relentless Avenger. If you hit an enemy with an opportunity to attack, your movement speed is increased. Not that big of a deal. Okay, Paladin spells. Let's take a look at this. Alright, for spells, this is what we're going to go with. Wrathful Smite can frighten a target. We want all the smites. Branding Smite because it can prevent someone from going invisible. If you're playing through the game a second, third, or fourth time and you know which characters those are, that's really useful. Of course, we got a Q Winds. Thunderous Smite, which can knock a character prone. Bless, which we always want to have. It's one of our concentration skills. Divine Favor, it's also a concentration skill. Concentration spell. Heroism, which is protection from evil and good, which is... And then there's our Searing Smite and our Shield of Faith. Protect a creature from attacks. It's armor class 2. So there's too many concentration spells for a paladin. And that really is the disadvantage of trying to play a paladin this particular way. And we may end up respecing him toward the end depending on what Will looks like. Will is not here with us, so we'll do Shadowheart because she's easy. Will is going to be fun. He gets his second paladin level right now, and he gets his smites. So now he's going to be even better. Banishment. Banish your target. The thing is, it's temporarily banish your target to another plane of existence. This was, in my opinion, much more fun in earlier Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder games because what it did is it banished a summoned creature back to its original plane, and it couldn't come back. So I like that. Death Ward, which she gets, protect a creature from death. Next time it would reduce it to 0 hit points. It remains conscious with 1 hit point left. That's really interesting. It's like they get 1 hit point left. Okay, but the next enemy that sneezes on them is going to kill them again. Do I want to waste a spell slot on that? Freedom of movement, though, used to be also really good. Snap an ally out of any stun. Difficult terrain can't slow them down, and they can't be magically paralyzed or restrained. That's a good one. I like that. That's still good. And Guardian of Faith. Call forth a divine guardian that attacks nearby enemies. Every time it deals damage, the guardian loses an equal amount of hit points. So it's going to keep killing. As long as it's doing damage, it's killing itself. I like that, though. I like that. That's pretty cool. Dimension Door. Teleport yourself up to one adjacent ally and adjacent ally to a place you can be seen. To a place you can see. The ally cannot be larger than medium. Transform a creature into a harmless sheep. So for people who are familiar with Divinity, this is going to be great. Remember, Divinity Original Sin 2 had Chicken Claw, which you could turn an enemy into a chicken. This is super powerful. Of course, it's a whiz save that you got to hit, so it would be nice if Will was in the group for it. We may have to try this. I have a video. If you look up the Harbinger of Doom on my Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough, you can see how we used Chicken Claw to kill the Harbinger. It was incredible. I've seen people using this sheep one, and it's so cool that it even exists. So this is something I'm definitely going to want to try. The problem, of course, is that you're going to want to put her in a group with Will to hex their wisdom. but still, that's really neat. So for her spells, let's do this. Okay, for the short term, here's what we're going to do. There's one thing I like is that you can go in here and you can change your spells out between encounters as to what's prepared. I like that, but I still don't understand why Dungeons and Dragons just doesn't make it so that with a cleric, if they know a spell, they can cast it as long as they have a spell slot. I mean, basically, Pathfinder has split the class up into cleric and oracle, and the difference is clerics have no more spells but have to prepare them, and oracles no fewer spells but can always cast them as long as they have a spell slot. I feel like we should eliminate both of those classes and basically make the cleric oracle. It has access to all the spells, and it can cast any of them without needing to prepare them. It can just cast them as long as they have a spell slot, because guess what? The spell slot is the restriction. That is the defining restriction of the class. You only have so many spell slots. We're sitting up here thinking, man, what do I do? I mean, if you told me, how many spell slots does she get? She gets a certain number based on level and things like that. So I just, gosh, it's the one thing I really wish Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder really would just rework. This is better. This is better than what it used to be, because it's so lame that they have all these spells and you can't use them because so many of them are situational. There'd be a time when you'd really like to use Feign Death or Light, like Daylight. That'd be shine like a sun or summon a sphere of sunlight that dispels our darkness around it. There's going to be a time to use this. There's going to be a time that'll be really useful to use it. But you can't really know that unless you know what's coming, meaning you have to have played through the game before. But it would be so much more fun and versatile if you just could use this spell when you need it, as long as you had a spell slot. So anyway, we're going to have protection from energy ready, because we're going to need that for the next little bit of thing that's going to happen down here in the forge. Karlach levels up. So now she's level 7. She's a 2nd level fighter now. She's a barbarian 6, level 1 fighter. We're going to give her a level 2 fighter, and she gets action surge, and that's the important thing for her. So now she gets an additional action with that awesome glaive of hers. And Lizelle takes another witch. She's going to take wizard levels all the way up to 11, and then she'll take fighter level 6 at the very end. So she gets this. She gets another level spell 1 slot. She gets arcane ward. The residual magic of your spells forms a ward around you that protects you from harm. Okay. Abjuration savant. Learning abjuration spells from scrolls costs. Oh no. Okay, so we have to pick the subclass. No, we don't want abjuration. This is what you want. Divination. And this is why you're gonna love seeing this. This is why for a fighter mage, this is the better selection than anything else out here. First of all, abjuration. Okay, residual magic ward protects you from harm. I don't know exactly what that entails, but it only protects you. Evocation, you can cast your evocation spells and your allies automatically succeed their saving throws and take no damage from them. That's neat. So basically every fireball becomes a controlled fireball, etc., etc., etc. Necromancy. Once per turn, if you kill a creature with a spell, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell slot level used. So, for instance, if you killed it with a magic missile, you'd get 2 hit points back. Ooh, thrice if it's a necromancy spell. I mean, if you kill it with a 3rd level fireball, you get 6 hit points back. Not important. You get minor subclass features. You get minor conjuration, create water. So for conjuration, I mean, when we think of conjuration, we think of all kinds of different things. You might think you'd be able to, like, conjure a small pet with a cantrip or something that you can use as a distraction, but no, you get conjure water. Not exciting. Enchantment, hypnotic gaze. Charm and incapacitate a creature. It cannot attack you. It cannot act. You maintain your hypnotic gaze each turn to extend its duration. Maintain your hypnotic gaze. Okay. Yeah, class action. So basically, you become a messer, but you can't do anything else. Well, she's a fighter, so that doesn't really work. Illusion. You cast Minor Illusion as a bonus action. Okay. Minor Illusion. I can keep going back, but it won't tell me what Minor Illusion is. As a bonus action, you can remain hidden while casting the spell. The spell can be cast while you are silenced. Alright. Not that important. And transmutation. You can brew 2 alchemical solutions instead of 1 when you can combine extracts if you succeed a DC 15 at medicine check. Oh, don't care. But this is the important one. This is a killer. Your dreams grant you glimpses that let you influence the future. Portent. After each long rest, you gain 2 random portent dice. They're random, remember, that's important. During the day, you can use your reaction to change the die of any attack roll or saving throw rolled near you to one of your portent dice. Each portent die can only be used once, and you lose your unused portent dice at the end of the day. Near you. Do you know what this means? This means if an enemy rolls a critical hit and you have a portent dice that is low enough, because they're random, remember, you can change their roll. You can change an enemy's attack roll. You can change an enemy's saving throw. You can change your attack roll, or your saving throw, or an ally's attack roll, or an ally's saving throw. You get 2 dice. They're random. This is the most awesome skill. I love it so much. Okay, and then for spells, Enhanced Leap. She already has that ability to give that to somebody from Githyanki. Long Strider. Increase a creature's movement speed. It uses a level 1 spell slot. She's not really going to... Let's see. These are all spells that we don't already know, because remember, we took a bunch of scrolls and memorized stuff. So Disguise Self. I actually kind of want to see what she does that. Color Splay. You can blind creatures up to combined 33 hit points. We're long past any creatures that could be 33 hit points. And Charm Person, which is just really awful. Because all it does is condition... You gain advantage on charisma checks and dialogue. I might use it for that. It's such a dumb spell, because here's what it used to do. If you played Baldur's Gate 1, you know, because you were going up and down the Sword Coast, and you'd come across sirens on the edge of the water, and the sirens would cast Charm on one of your characters. Usually they went for Minsk, and they'd hit him and nail him, and then he'd start attacking the whole party. That's what Charm was supposed to do. That's what it's done forever. But now all it does is this. Charm a human doing it to prevent it from attacking you. All it's going to do is prevent it from attacking you. It's almost like casting an invisible spell on yourself. It doesn't mean it's going to stop attacking your teammates. And it's not going to attack its own people. So it's the biggest nerf I've ever seen to a spell. It's so terrible. Oh, God, it's awful. Okay, we always want Magic Missile. Oh, and she has Witch Bolt now. Ooh, and she also has this Thunder Wave. I want to keep that in case she can ever get that to work and push somebody off a cliff. That'd be great. So, oh, no, we want Shield. She's got to have that. Okay. Oh, but her prepared spells, she has more because she has the Intelligence Band on. So, for prepared spells for Lizelle, we can go in here and see Wizard. She's got all these. Okay. We got Shield. We want to have Thunder Wave. It'd probably be good to have some electricity in case that situation calls for it. False Life gains 7 temporary hit points. That could mean the difference between life and death. Maybe, although she'd probably be more likely to just kill something. But let's do that for now. Okay, so there's her prepared spells. And hers are all up here. Okay. And now she's got these extra really cool things. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to redo her hotbar soon. But anyway, doesn't matter. We've spent 15 minutes dealing with level ups and watching me ramble on. Ramble on. So, you press this. Actually, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's this one. What? Oh, no, it's this button. I forgot. It's the button. Let's get you back in. Alright, party. Party on Wayne, party on Garth. Now what we want to do, this is where we want to go, right over here. Remember, we came down the stairs. But we want to go over here. Because we're not done yet. We have to go help this monk. This quest.
Lava's erupting. Better watch my step.
And there's a reason for that. So, and it's because of that thing. And the lava is erupting, which is really bad. So, the best way to do this is right now go into turn-based mode, kind of. You got to get everybody away from this edge because that one will actually burst right there. And gosh. Okay, let's do it. What is it? Shift enter? Entering turn-based mode. Okay, this is what I want to do. Lizelle.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
Oh, you have. Oh, our misty steps are gone. Okay. A lot of our stuff is gone, so we're gonna rest. We're gonna go back to camp. We need certain things here that are really gonna help.
With haste.
So let's go through and oh man, we got so much alcohol here. You don't need any food. We got all the alcohol. We need 3 more. 3 more. What's got 3 here? A bun. A bun is worth 3. Perfect. Perfect, I say. Lizelle, my darling, why are you sleeping over there? Okay. So I can't wait to get Will back, but I think we're going to need the protection from elements here from our cleric. So, now where is it? It's walking around the backside. Okay. This would be good because it'll give us a second. As soon as this thing bursts. Alright, go. So, what we're going to want to do here. What do you got going on here, bud? Okay, you can't jump yet. Fine. Karlak, can you jump? Good. Okay. I do like that the game will let you go into turn-based mode. Like this. Now, Lizelle, we need to grant your Githyanki Science to the cleric. There you go. And now you're going to head over here. And you're done. And the cleric.
No time to waste.
Now, 1 turn. And that critter is going to make it a little further. Great. So, you. Yep. Karlak. Get over here. Jump. Oh my gosh, there's such a nice breeze coming through my window right now. It has been about a bazillion degrees here for the last 3 days while I've been on a mini vacation recording a bunch of episodes here. And I mean, it's been so hot. It's been so uncomfortable. My house doesn't have air conditioning. And the reason that it doesn't have air conditioning is because we live in an area where traditionally you don't need air conditioning. But, you know, weather's changing. So, it's just been so hot. And I can't run the fan to at least move some air around because the fan's too loud and affects the audio quality of these episodes. So I've been sitting here, you know, cooking in a box. This is kind of really sucked. Kind of really sucked. But, you know, you gotta record videos when you can, man. Okay, back to the head dog. You're as far as you can go. Karlak's as far as you can go. You're not quite there. Let's get back to... How much more can you move? Oh, it's the end of your turn. Okay. So... You're done. You're done. And who's left? Lizelle's got... Okay, what are you doing? You can't go anymore. And Karlak
I'd
can't
love
go
to,
anymore.
thanks.
Okay. Here it comes. Magmatic regeneration. So we should take a good look at this. What is this? Regain 200 to 120 hit points when starting a turn in lava. So we want this thing to come crawl up in here. Karlak.
A lava elemental. That explains things.
It does. And I just kind of want you in the corner right there. The rest of the group here has got to get out of the way before this becomes a situation. So stay there. Cleric. You get this for a bunch of turns, which is great. Oh my god, you... Okay.
Violence breeds madness. One true way.
Not enough movement points. Can you get to there? You can get to there? Okay. Alright. We just got to draw this thing up. Now, see, we have to get the hell out of Dodge. Let's get you up here. You, sister, are going to have to jump to there. Stay out of the way. I don't like how vulnerable you are.
Let's get going.
Alright. Now, you're going to have what? You're going to have several turns, but let's wait. Things marching its way up here. Ready to burst. Okay, I think you might want... I don't think it has a ranged attack. Superior dark vision, magmatic disturbance. Okay, so I think what you want to do is start shooting this thing. Don't do anything fancy. Just start shooting. Okay, now move over here into the corner. Lizelle, can you shoot it? You got this fancy crossbow. Not an effective. Now I want you to move up here like this. And I want you to move up here. You have a crossbow, but it's pretty lame. Still a few points. You want to tag him a little bit and then get out of the way. Okay. Because I don't think he has a range attack. He's gonna dash. Great. This is awesome. Now he's up here. Perfect. Great. Okay. Now he's here. Sweet. And I don't think he has any resistances. What has he got? Conditions. What's his resistance? He doesn't have any resistance. He doesn't like cold, obviously, which is great. We don't really have much of that. He's got a lot of poison resistance. Of course, he's basically immune to fire. But he's not gonna like. He's not gonna like our smites. So divine smite. Let's just do a level 2 one here. Luck of the far realms. Blow it early. Do it again. That's nice. Good job. Okay. I just need this out. She should be able to do this thing. There you go, darling. So, Lazelle's main hand attack on Lava Elemental. She needs a 12 to hit and she rolled a 10. So we can use a portent die to make sure we hit this thing. I'm not going to waste it right now. Lazelle's main hand attack on a Lava Elemental. She needs a 12. She rolled a 16, so you can use Luck at the Far Realms. Don't just need to kill it. Awesome. So you can see right away the portent die can be used in a... First of all, for your own attacks, which is really cool. So, but it can be used for a bunch of different things. So, Adamantine chest. Okay. Lizelle, do your magic. Lockpick. So Lizelle failed this dice roll about 100 times in a row.
It will happen.
Now she's going to tell us it'll happen. Well, I'm going to hold you to that, sister. I'm losing faith in her ability to say it will happen. There we go. Only took 102 attempts. All right. So what's in there? This, the sentient amulet. Kai restoration, so it's for a monk. Talk to the sentient amulet. Yeah, okay.
Thou hast come!
The amulet is heavy, but holds a subtle warmth, like it was left under the sun. Suddenly, the metal surges with heat. You feel great power and an overwhelming urge to laugh.
Can thou endure?
Yeah, wizard, reach for the weave. Let it shield you from this impulse. Oh, an advantage wizard. Thank you, Lizelle, for being a wizard. That paid off.
The urge flows into the strands of the weave, leaving only a sense of calm.
Thou hast done well. For what is a laugh if not one step toward madness? Thou art the one! Return me, take me home, and thou shalt glow with blessings.
Return you to where? To whom?
To my granddaughter, Shira Clarwen. Serves Ilmata, she does.
She waits in Worm's Crossing. Take me there, and thou shalt bathe in her golden gifts. Oh, thou shalt be blessed indeed.
I would love to have a conversation with the audio engineers for this game. And here's why. Because you can tell some lines of dialogue were recorded at a different point in time than others because the effects are not the same. And it makes me wonder, did they lose their settings? Was there a hard drive crash? Did they lose something? Because this is something I've had to learn the hard way with my own channel, is that when I finally get my audio situation set up and all my filters, and I have my noise gate on exactly the way I wanted to, and I have my compression on exactly the way I wanted to not just write down those settings, but take screenshots. Because it can take a long time to get your audio set up exactly the way you want it. And then if you don't have those settings saved and written down and screenshotted, duplicating that can be very, very difficult. And that feels like that's what happened here. It's like they had to go back and do some callbacks later and record some additional voice work, and they didn't have the same settings. It's like, oh, what happened? I'd love to talk to somebody about that. Anyway, are you a ghost? What happened to you?
A ghost? I am sunlight on water, dew on grass. Sharons broke my body, but my spirit they could not. Well, not completely. Thou shalt return me home. It is written.
That thing's tainted. Better to leave it than bear a dead man's grudges.
I will take you to your granddaughter at Worm's Crossing. Insight. What can I get from this? Investigate. Examine the amulet. You've got an inspiration to burn.
on its face is an image of the dawning sun.
Consider the inscribed image. What could it mean? Headband of intellect +4. This is awesome. I got the right person for the job here. Mage's friend gave us +1. That's cool. She's got that on.
You recognize the symbol. It belongs to those sworn to Lathander, god of dawn and renewal. Whatever madness this spirit suffers was inflicted by Lathander's enemies, followers of Shah. And this madness may flow into you.
Not if I can help it. Focused on the entity, what are its intentions?
Beneath the rampant joy, you sense the monk's fear and sincerity. He doesn't wish to harm you, but that doesn't mean he won't.
I will take you to your granddaughter at Worm's Crossing.
I shall walk with thee. I shall grant you my power.
Yeah, stow the amulet.
You feel a chuckle coming on, but it soon fades.
So, they've done a great job combining two things I absolutely hate. Monks and nonsensical laughter and madness. It's a perfect combination, really. I flippin' hate monks in Dungeons and Dragons. God, not only do I feel like they just don't belong, I hate the whole concept of the class. I hate the idea that in a game full of awesome weapons and armor, you can have none. You would play a class that has none. It's like, jeez, what a terrible idea. Oh, I know everybody's in disagreement. I know so many people love playing monks. I don't know what it is about that particular class that turns people on, but I despise it. Oh, I despise it with every fiber of my being. Just really hate it. Okay, let's go back into turn-based mode and make this a little easier. I think. Remember, opinions are my own, and everybody's got one. It's not that big of a deal. It's okay to have a nonsensical opinion about a class in a video game. It's just a video game. Not enough resources to use the actions. Okay, first of all, then, let's have you do this. Now let's do this. I'm not gonna walk over here and get burned. I don't know if, well, this will be easy.
There is work to do.
Yeah, but everybody else has got to go first. You know, why people like or dislike things, I can't say. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I mean, why do some people like me and one of my really good friends, who's a singer in a band that I played in, he and I both agree, we can't stand the taste of IPA beer. It tastes like drinking grass to us. Like just going out and cutting your lawn and distilling that into a beverage. It's just utterly disgusting. But, billions of dollars of IPA are sold every year. So, opinions are just opinions. I mean, I just finished watching Roadhouse with my 15-year-old son because he'd never seen it. And one of the things I love about that movie is when he says opinions vary, because it's just so true. Opinions vary. They don't mean anything. Not on this. Not. I guess opinions matter in certain circumstances.
Catch a break.
But in this case, they don't matter. It's just a video game. I just find monks to be stupid. We don't need to be doing all this jumping. We're done here. The Adamantine Forge is done. We need to go to this location, back to the Grimforge. So we're here. And we can go down here. So we're level 8 now. Level 7. And we're ready to move on to the next part. And I probably need to go do some housekeeping back at camp, but we'll do that. So this is how we get to the next spot here. Ready to go? And then what is this location? What is this? Smoke Powder Reserve. How would we possibly get there? I'm curious about that because it looks like you might be able to get in from here. What is up with that? Because we went around here. There's this room here that we walked through. Oh, look. There. Hold on. There's nothing wrong with investigating for a second. Because it's a spot on my map I haven't been able to get into. Not on my first playthrough and not on this one. So over here, there's a button. And there's a collapsed archway. And there's... Okay. That's not significant. Okay, but what about the collapsed archway then? There's a skull. What about the collapsed archway?
I'm way too big.
Oh, you mean you could squeeze through there if you couldn't see that door? Okay. Wow, it said smoke powder reserve, but there's no smoke powder here. It was just a chest with some lame-oness. Oh no, there it is. Smoke powder satchel right there. Oh, and there's a couple of them. Oh. Well then, so if you don't have the barrels from camp that we had stowed in camp, you can get it from there. There's probably people already have been in the comments 2 episodes ago going, it's over here, it's over here. All right. Remember, I record these videos, folks, way ahead of time, and then I piecemeal release them on YouTube. So you're watching this video weeks after I've already recorded it. Your comments are appreciated, especially somebody left a comment on the very first episode about how you can defeat Commander Zarl or whatever his name is on the Nautiloid. They wrote this detailed explanation of how to defeat that sucker because he's so overpowered for what you are at level 1, and I was like, I can't wait to play the game again and try that tactic because that sounds awesome, and there's an achievement in the game for defeating that guy. So that's going to be incredibly fun to play. All right, I have to check one small thing here. What is this? Okay, we got about 15 minutes left. So here we go. Let's go. You're about to progress your adventure. Yes, please. This is great. This next area is incredibly fun. There's some really cool stuff coming. I'm actually getting very close to catching up to my first playthrough because I've been playing this one to record episodes since I have this little mini vacation. I thought it was ideal. It was time to do. I mean, I needed to take advantage of this time. I was like, oh man, I got a couple days of vacation to myself. The wife's not around. I can record all day long. I should record Baldur's Gate. I kind of want to do the same thing for when Starfield comes out. I kind of want to take a mini vacation, like 3 or 4 days off, and just do nothing but 12 hours a day record videos. Anyway, we're here now. You can see. It's like, what is this place? Well, I'm not sure, but Karlach was for some reason in charge. She shouldn't have been. Lizelle. Okay, listen. I'm putting me right there in the first spot. This is another thing that seemed to work better in Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, which doesn't make any sense to me because I know they're using the same code. It's like, why does this not work as well now? So there's Absolutionist Expedition Trunk. Well, next time we go to camp, I'm going to do a bunch of housekeeping. I've got some inventory that's a little too full. This is one of those games where you just have to spend some time housekeeping. Oh, well, I'll take those and an antidote. Great. Let's go this way.
Repositioning.
This poor sod over here. Dead. Oh. A withered chisel set. See, I don't... And a lump hammer. I don't know. Can that stuff be useful? Could it be? In some way? I'm so excited to see Lizelle develop as a fighter mage. Oh, this is great. This is a great place to end the episode. I can't wait. This is so much fun. Okay, folks, listen. A lot of you out there playing never had a chance to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. The games are too old, they're beyond your time, whatever. Or you just didn't play them when they were around. I cut my teeth on Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. They were the games that helped get me into PC gaming back in the early 1990s. And this is special. This is one of these special pieces of Baldur's Gate history over here. Because the guy who did the voice work in the original Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 for this character, it only had a few lines, but it was so great. And this is just fantastic.
Who there, wanderer? Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man.
That's...
May I inquire if perchance you retain among your traveling companions a man who adheres to the given name of Gale?
We do. So that first line of his, this is so great of Larry to do this. That first line of his is really the only spoken dialogue that Elminster has in Baldur's Gate 1. You see him wandering along a path one day, and he says that. He's like, stay thy course a moment. And because in Baldur's Gate 1, there wasn't all of this voiced dialogue like there is in modern gaming. So a character would usually have like one voiced bark string, and that would be it. So for them to put that line in there, and that's the first thing that he says when you meet him, is like, it made my old Baldur's Gate heart go pitter-patter. That was awesome. As a matter of fact, I do. He's resting in camp.
Ever a man of leisure. Would it pain you greatly to assist me along the little voyage I intend to undertake to this aforementioned camp?
It would be my pleasure.
And I would confirm it to be so. Please, after you.
So off we go to camp. Which is good. This could be a good place to end the episode, but first we'll go talk to our friend, and then I'll do some housekeeping. But Elminster is known in Baldur's Gate history, in Dungeons and Dragons. He's a mythic character, basically. He's like, I mean, he's the Sword Coast's version of Gandalf. You know, pointy hat, long beard. It's so cool. He himself is an homage to Tolkien. So, but now he's like has his own legendary status, and so for him to show up in this game, it's killing me.
My thanks for your excellent guidance. Ah. And yonder I spy the object of my pursuit.
Elminster?
The very same, Gale. And a fair bit miffed he is, too, finding himself forced to expose his best pair of boots to so many miles of country road on your behalf.
I don't understand. How so on my behalf?
I was bid to spare neither time nor my own self to find you. She sent me, Gale. You know of whom I speak.
But why? Out with it, Elminster. Please.
Young man, has your sojourn away from Waterdeep washed away your decorum as well as your patience? Nigh a 10-day I've gone without honest fare, worthy of the name. Drank naught but what the sky entitled my thirst. Why, some bread, cheese, and a cup of wine would appear unto me a feast. Surely you won't begrudge me a mite of rest and repast before I get out with it?
And that's my only gripe about Elminster being in the game, is it feels like they just got his tone a little wrong. Like he's this grandfatherly figure who's really kind. Like he exudes kindness in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I don't know. I just feel like the writing's off on him, but I love that he's here. So.
Oh, for the love of... Fine. I'll turn a deaf ear to the clarion calls with which my scorned stomach beseeches me. Graver matters are at hand. Plenty to digest, after all. A good deal to stew over, if you will. Words ladled with import should be savored so as to better absorb their meaning. Wouldn't you agree?
Elminster.
Right. You see, that is to say, Gale, my boy, I've come to address a most pressing matter. I'll speak as plainly as I can, forswearing the accustomed frills that decorate my speech. I'm here on behalf of Mystra. The message and the charge I bring you are hers.
I see. I'm surprised she sent you in the first place after Gale's debacle.
Thank you for that most considerate reminder.
You know where you went wrong, Gale. No, we needn't dwell on that here and now. But even so, you're to be given a chance of redemption.
Mystra would consider forgiveness.
She would consider what she considers to be forgiveness.
That's a good line.
Mystra is aware of the misadventures that have befallen you both. She knows of your strife with the Absolute, that most insidious of evils.
Well, if the goddess herself is aware, I wouldn't say no to some divine intervention. I am a paladin, after all. I'm used to cavorting with the divine.
The very purpose of my presence. In a roundabout sort of way. You must know that the Absolute is more dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live, even those who are undying. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very fabric of the universe itself. That is why I have come here to charge you, Gale, with its destruction. It is Mystra's belief that only you can.
Wow. Well, Mystra is mistaken. I will be the Absolute's destroyer.
I doubt not your conviction, but Gale has an unnatural advantage.
The orb.
Precisely. Mystra has granted me the power to stop the clock, as it were, on the orb's rush to overpower you. Instead, you will be able to unleash its lethal combustion at will.
Interesting. This could be help. Or hindrance. We shall have to see.
You must find the heart of the Absolute, whatever that may be, and use yourself as the catalyst that will burn it from this world.
Okay, so the first thing that's really cool is he said, stop the clock. I don't know if the spell exists in the current 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons rules, but there used to be a spell a long time ago called Time Stop. It was a level 9 spell, and it actually showed up in Baldur's Gate 2. Since it was a video game, they had to kind of, make it work. Not exactly the way it is in the pen and paper rules, but they made it work. And for instance, the Lich Kang-X would cast it. And what he would do with Time Stop is it would allow him to cast a whole ton of spells on you and your party before Time Stop would wear off, and then time would keep going. Anyway, this to me feels like a small nod or homage to the fact that there is a Time Stop spell in Dungeons and Dragons. But since we don't go up to level 20 in this game and characters don't basically become like demigods, then you're never going to see Time Stop. And so he says that she has allowed me to stop the clock, so to speak. That's a pretty cool little thing. Anyway, so well, okay, personally, if I wasn't playing a paladin, I would use that third line. We'll be rid of both the Absolute and Gale in one fell swoop. Win-win. My bard might end up saying that. That's monstrous. You're tasking him to kill himself.
He is not. But it seems that Mystra is.
It brings me no pleasure saying this, my friend. But such is Mystra's will. Yours must be the sacrifice that will undo the Absolute. And for your sacrifice, you will be redeemed. Such is Mystra's promise. With that, I've said my sorry piece, and need only bestow unto thee the charm I was bid.
So does that mean he's not going to have the arcane hunger anymore and he won't have to keep eating magical items? I'm going to have to find out.
It is done. Both charge and charm have been committed into your care. To you, I commit into care Gale himself. I count on you to shepherd him well on this strangest of journeys.
Well, I'll do my best. On my honor, it shall be done.
On my honor, I'm not sure yet I can say the same.
Like moons make swell and wane the nescient seas, so too the sky-strewn gods ordain the tidal fates of mortal days. And yet, an ocean born in lonely hours, come ebb, come flow, come all that is beyond the breadth of our dominion, be a moon unto yourself. Even the waves of fate can break upon the shores of will. Farewell, my friend.
Farewell, Elminster. I'm glad she chose you.
So, Gale, sounds like you've got a new problem here.
An audience with Elminster is never less than memorable. I'd have hoped to introduce you to him in less dire circumstances. But those are hard to come by these days.
An old man with a craving for cheese. Hardly the great wizard of legend.
A wizard doesn't reach Elminster's age without enjoying their home comforts. Those who seek danger over cheese don't tend to live as long. For Mystra to have sent him, the severity of her bidding could not be clearer, or weigh more heavily on me. Time seems so infinite when you're young. A month is an age. A year is a lifetime. It is a strange feeling to realize how little of it one might have left.
Yeah. You're seriously considering... Oh, well. You're seriously considering doing what Elminster said.
Of course. He offered the clearest solution to our problem. All I have to do is find the right place and time, close my eyes, and let go. Then the slate will be clean. Wrongs will be righted, the Absolute will be gone, and I along with it.
I kind of like it. Kamikaze human bomb. Well, so that's it. You're on a suicide mission now. Mr. Shall we call him Gale Oppenheimer? I think we shall.
Possibly the most spectacular one ever conceived. But essentially, Yes, I'm living on borrowed time, in more ways than one. Perhaps this is how it must be.
That remains ahead of us for now. The heart of the Absolute must be discovered before I can stop its beating.
Well, look at it this way, Gale. At least you gotta have naked sexy time with a god, S. That's nothing that most people can lay claim to. I'll make sure we find the Absolute, Gale, I promise.
And I suppose there is nothing more to be done but find the heart of the Absolute and stop its beating.
Poor Gale. Well, that was fascinating. Alright, I have a lot of house cleaning to do. I'm going to swap some character companions so I can level some more people up, and I want to see what the situation is with him. Everybody else, thanks for hanging out. As usual, like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave your questions and comments down below. I am eager to read all of them. I will see you all next time, and until then, happy gaming, everyone.